Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Desatarine जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनता. So today we will read verse number 23 of chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge. So let us chant the sloka. Gata sangasya muktasya
गतसङ्गस्य मुक्तस्य
jnana vastita chetasa
ज्ञानावस्थितचेतसः
yajnayacharataha karma
यज्ञायाचरतः कर्म
samagram praviliyate.
समग्रं प्रविलीयते.
Sangasya muktasya
गतसङ्गस्य मुक्तस्य
jnana avastita chetasa
ज्ञान अवस्थिता चेतसा
यज्ञायाचरतः कर्म
यज्ञायाचरता कर्म
समग्रं प्रविलीयते.
समग्रं प्रविलीयते.
Please chant.
गतसङ्गस्य मुक्तस्य ज्ञानावस्थितचेतसः यज्ञायाचरतः कर्म समग्रं प्रविलीयते.
गतसङ्गस्य मुक्तस्य ज्ञानावस्थितचेतसः यज्ञायाचरत कर्म समग्रं प्रविलीयते.
Okay, so translation and purport. The work of a man who is unattached to modes of material nature and who is fully situated in transcendental knowledge merges entirely into transcendence. Purport. Becoming fully Krishna conscious, one is freed from all dualities and thus free from contamination of material modes. He can become liberated because he knows his constitutional position in relationship with Krishna, and thus his mind cannot be drawn from Krishna consciousness. Consequently, whatever he does for Krishna, who is the primeval Vishnu. Therefore, all his works are technically sacrifices because sacrifice aims at satisfying the Supreme Person, Vishnu or Krishna. The resultant reaction of all such works certainly merge into transcendence, and one does not suffer material effects. So, Krishna explaining to Arjuna how he should act. Is through Arjuna is explaining to all of us. To Arjuna because he is on the war front and he has to fight on the dharma side. So Krishna is explaining him uh, how he should fight without being attached. And also last shloka, it was mentioned that he should be free from dualities. If he has knowledge, he will be free from dualities. So he will not be attached to happiness or um, misery, to avoid the misery. So he will be equal. And once he is equally situated, uh, he's tranquil to all the situations and all the results of the work. Gata Sangasya. And Sangha means also we saw that it also means karma sanga. So attachment to the result of karma phala sangasya. So once he is not attached to the results of his work, then he is free from modes of nature, because we get attached to the results because of the ignorance. We think how we get attached to the action or the results of the action is by our ignorance. We forget who we are, and we think ourselves to be this body, and then we act and we get attached to the fruits. Uh, so, uh, Krishna here is telling Arjuna that if you are not attached to the results of your karma and you are same in both success or failure, then you already pass the modes of material nature. Uh, and how this can be done? Muktasya, by the transcendental knowledge. Uh, your chetasa. So, your wisdom or your intelligence should be fixed in transcendental knowledge. Then you will be cross the modes of material nature. And here Krishna is again repeating yagyaya acharataha karma. So in the third chapter we saw that Krishna told Arjuna that he established this system of yagya, so that the human being and the demigods doing yagya, they will satisfy each other. So, and Krishna also told that bhoktaram sarvatapasam. So he is the receiver of all the sacrifices. All the sacrifices or yagya are done to please Vishnu, and Vishnu or Krishna is transcendental. So when we do our activities as yagya, then all our activities are beyond the modes of nature. And then the praviliyate means merge, entirely merge. The Prabhupada translates like this. So whatever work we do or karma we do, it will be merged into transcendence. So because when we work for Vishnu or Krishna, considering his direction or his order as the final, then all the sacrifice is going to Vishnu. So there is no question of modes of material nature or any material activity or material law of reaction. So the resultant reactions we will not get. So Krishna has told that one who sees inaction in action. So this is what he is elaborating more, that even if you act, if you are not getting any reaction of that work, then you are intelligent, you are pandita. If you see this and if you can act like this, then many people in the past have crossed this material world by this knowledge. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that please act in this way so that you will also not get entangled in this world. So these few shlokas are the explanation about how the karma should be done, and the karma should be done in such a way that we ultimately get connected with the Supreme. So that's why it's called Karma Yoga. By doing our karma, we connect with the Supreme. So all the system that Krishna has established are ultimately bound, or ultimately the purpose of all this is we should elevate our consciousness and connect to Krishna. Right? So when we do karma yoga, also we should get attached to Krishna. So just karma kanda means you do the activities and you enjoy the fruits of the work. But here it is karma yoga. So you do karma in such a way that you get attached to Vishnu. And when you get attached to Vishnu or Krishna and you work for him, then uh, it's all transcendental. So very interesting point. I was hearing Srila Prabhupada's lecture. So how to become equal and or Krishna consciousness in all situations, Srila Prabhupada was explaining. So in success and failure, right? How to become equal. So We generally, means I also used to think how, what exactly is equal, how to become equal, means I should not get happy or I should not get sad. What exactly does mean? So Srila Prabhupada was mentioning that when you are working for Krishna, all the activities you do, you just do your best. Mm. Whatever maximum possible you can do, you do. Don't think of the result. I think we discussed this point. But just don't think of result. Just do your activities and move forward. What happens after that is Krishna. So even if you get success, you know that it has come from Krishna. And if even if you get failures, then also you know that it is coming from Krishna, right? So in both the ways, the ultimate purpose is to remember Krishna. So even if you fail, if you can think that, oh, this has come through Krishna, or this is arranged by Krishna's will, then you are ultimately Krishna conscious in that situation also. And when your happiness also, success also coming through Krishna's will, if you have this consciousness, that everything is coming from Krishna's consciousness will, then you are equal, because you are just thinking about Krishna. So that's the state of mind that we have to achieve, that we always think whatever has come to us is Krishna. So it's not easy, because our false ego comes into picture and it does not accept. It's very difficult to accept the failure or injustice or happiness also. If you get happy, you tend to uh, tell to the others. You tend to glorify yourself. Or if you are facing misery, then also you tend to tell. So that it's coming from ego, which is saying that whatever is happening with you is correct or it is wrong. And that instigates us to take some actions. And through that actions, actually, we get bound. So, but Krishna is telling you become equal. Whatever is coming to you is my will. If you can just think in that way, then you will become equal and you will not get bound. So, Krishna, if you are sincere, Krishna will give many opportunities to be equal. He will give many ups and downs in your life, so that you learn this, because it's not easy to learn this. So all the situations, all the challenges that we face, that we have to take as mercy of Krishna. I know many have, many Maharaj, in many lectures it is mentioned that you take it mercy of Krishna, but that we can only tell, we can think in that way if we have this transcendental knowledge that actually I am not supposed to work for myself. I'm supposed to work for Krishna, because I'm his part or I'm his servant. So that knowledge, if you have, then you can think it to be Krishna's mercy. So here Krishna is telling Arjuna that if you work for yajna, then everything will be merged into transcendence. How this uh, reactions of the karma merge into transcendence, that Krishna will explain in the next few shlokas. Why he's telling Arjuna to work in knowledge, to not Arjuna, to us also. So that we will see in the shlokas from tomorrow. But I think this shloka or the next shloka, Krishna is also telling the importance of karma yoga, um, or how karma yoga is better than karma kanda, or just getting attached to results, and how it can elevate you to the higher consciousness, because you are ultimately trying to connect with uh, Krishna by doing the yajna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So any questions or comments or any examples, experiences? Okay, thank you very much for joining today. So we'll see the interesting shlokas about transcendental knowledge from tomorrow. Hare